We are back.
Oh, yes, we are.
Welcome, welcome to episode 45 of the Gray Path podcast. Gray
I was about
Pod.
to say, you can't be messing up our name. 45 episodes later.
See, I'm dyslexic.
I feel like that's your excuse for everything.
So I've been really good. I still haven't bought any action figures.
Wow. We're, what,
Yeah,
30 days in to the year?
yeah.
That's
I
good.
I realized that there's stuff there that I like, but I was just like, do I really need it? No, I don't need it.
I feel
But
that.
I did get something.
What'd
Are you
you get?
ready?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I was so tempted to get one of those, but I just know myself. I can't start
Well,
that obsession.
I'm glad that you didn't because I actually bought it for you.
No.
I did. I did.
He's so freaking cute.
Do you know how many weeks I've been looking for him?
How many? Like a couple?
Like five, because I knew they were going to come out, and he's the only one that has not been in any of the stores. And I've been checking because I'm like, it'll be a nice little surprise. So surprise,
Well, thank you. He's so
yeah.
cute. My mom, she hasn't watched the show yet, but I guess my brother was telling her about it and they're going to watch it. But she was like, he's like the Winnie the Pooh of Star Wars. She's like, I already love him. I was like, oh my God, mom.
He's what the kids would call a Rizzler.
Ew.
He had swag.
I hate that word, the Brizzler. It reminds me of the Riddler.
That was so funny. I was like, it's fringe some of the words that some people use, especially the age that people are at.
That's when you know we're getting old.
My kids' mom uses dead B or dead A. Too soon into it.
Mm, yeah, I listened
And
to a
it just,
podcast and I think the guys they're like 25, 26, which isn't that much younger than me, but they say that all the time. And I'm just like,
yeah,
it's like every other sentence. I'm like, okay, that's just, I don't know.
yes.
Instead of saying
And
like
that's
serious, they say that. I'm like, I don't know if I can get behind that one.
one, it's leading me to something that I've been thinking about is, have I gotten to that age that I am too old to do or wear, especially what I normally wear. I asked my daughters the other day, I was like, am I too old to be wearing True Religion jeans still? And she was like, no, you look fine. I'm like, am I too old to be wearing Jordans? Like, I feel like I need to get those Nike Monarchs like all the old guys
Oh
have.
no. No, I don't think so. I think it's different now. Now you can dress however you want to dress.
No, I know. I'm like,
You
should
want to
I?
wear your Jordans, you wear your Jordans, you old man.
Well, it's just like it's even like with like all my Flag Nor Fail clothes, like every episode, this is all I wear, so it's just constantly in the videos or constantly out in public.
And I have all my
It's,
Star Wars shirts and children's shirts and
I have I've bought a couple more Marvel shirts. Got like a couple Deadpool ones and
Oh, that's
some
cool.
Wolverine ones. The only thing that sucks about those is I haven't yet been able to find a good brand that makes those type of shirts. So typically when you get them, they're just like 100% cotton, basic cut, not form fitting. You know,
Yeah.
I look like a box inside of them. Um, and then they end up shrinking 9 times out of 10. So,
That's what I noticed, like, because Etsy, I like to buy a lot of shirts off there, but it is hit and miss. 'Cause, like, they have a lot of cool graphic tees, but it's like sometimes you'll get with the very good, like, quality shirts, and sometimes, yeah, you get those just generic, like, super cheap shirts. So they're just, slapping them on there.
how's your work of week? How's your work week been going? Geez, that was a tongue twister.
Well, I took like a week and a half, almost 2 weeks off from the gym. So today
Oh,
was my
well,
first
that's
day
good.
back. Well, kind of, because I went to Texas since I was gone that Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I worked out that Monday. And then, like, 2 days later, I got so sick. And so I think my niece and nephew got me sick, and I got the worst cold. And so I was like, I can't go to the gym. So, and I had last weekend off. And that's when I was planning on going to the gym, but I just stayed in bed all day. I was like, you are going to fight
Yeah.
this. So then today I feel 100% better. I still have a little cough and like sniffles, but I'm like, feel so much better. My workout was good today.
So, sometimes it's better to listen to your body and take that time off, especially after
Definitely.
traveling.
Mm-hmm.
Especially after traveling.
Because I
I
hate just
remember
laying in
having,
bed too, but I was like, you're going to just stay in bed all Saturday, do nothing.
how's the weather been?
It's been better. It's warming up. So it's been like, I don't know, 40s and stuff. So snow's starting to melt finally.
Yeah, Randall's videos looked cool with the snow when he was driving.
Oh,
I
yeah.
was like,
It's been
that's
cool.
dope. That's
Definitely
good.
different.
You know, it snowed down where Eli's at in LA.
That's wild. I know in like Florida it snowed, but I didn't know in LA did.
Yeah, yeah. He posted a video of him walking his kid to school and it's all snow on the ground. I was like, damn, how long has it been since they got snow?
Yeah, for real. That's wild.
They definitely need it with the fires down there to
Mhm.
help. So it's good. Yeah, myself, I've had a pretty good couple of weeks of being back consistently in the gym.
Good.
I sent you the video of the pump sauce, didn't I?
Oh yeah, because I kind of want to try another pump thing, but maybe I'll try that.
I have not been that pumped in probably a year and a half, maybe even 2 years. Like, I was upset that I booked my appointment with Shane at 2:30 to get my hair cut because I had to cut my workout short because I procrastinated uh,
Shot.
in the morning to get there. But I had to go into work to do a couple of things, so it's not really like I procrastinated. It's just I had to stop by, and I ended up sleeping in because it was my first day off. So, um, oh, my hand's black. Looks bruised. Sorry. ADD. Back to the topic. Um, but I was like, my skin felt like it was gonna tear. And I was just like, I'm like, am I tripping? Because so I drank my pre workout, went and did what I needed to do real quick. And then on the way, I drank the pump sauce because it says to drink it 15 minutes before you go to the gym. So I was like, okay, cool. I was like, whatever. Ate a banana and I did like incline chest, barbell, incline chest, dumbbell, and then I worked my like a decline down to flat bench. So that was like 1, 2, 3. It was like 3 workouts, 4 sets of 8 to 10. And then I think I did like some upright twist. So I was probably there for like 45 minutes and I was like, damn, I was like, it's been about an hour and nothing's kicking in. Like they said that it would to take it 15 minutes before the gym so that it hits you when you're in the gym. I was like, whatever.
Maybe because of pre-workout. Like I don't know.
I don't know. And that's what I was thinking too, because I was just like, damn, I was like, well, I'm glad I bought it on sale on Amazon. I'm like, this is a dud. And then I literally went and took like 2 more drinks of water, uh, went to the restroom, came back out, and I did like a little light shoulder like stretch just to get like uh, my shoulder to pop because it felt like it needed to pop. And then it was like, boom, it hit me. And the first thing that I realized was like my nasal area just cleared up and I was like, I can breathe so much. I'm like, there's so much oxygen in the air. You know what I mean? I was like, what the hell? I was feeling like my lungs were getting fully engulfed in fresh oxygen. And then the pump just kicked in. And every single set that I did, my skin felt like it was gonna tear.
What's the company? Is it Pump Sauce? Is
It's
that the company?
Yeah, it's called pump sauce.
Hmm.
And to be honest with you, I impulse bought it on Amazon the other day. I didn't even realize the flavor that I bought. It was called like something margarita,
Yeah, I was gonna say it
watermelon
was like
mar.
an alcohol drink.
Yeah, it was watermelon margarita. So when I opened the box, I was
Ooh.
like, "What the hell is this?"
Yeah, sour gummy
Um,
worms, gummy sharks.
yeah. Now it is super salty, but I imagine it's it's a pump formula, but it had a good flavor. I'm probably gonna keep it cold because it recommends to keep it cold even though you don't have to. But I was literally sitting there and I was like, I did a set of curls and my arms were just pumped. I did a set of overhead shoulder press, my arms were pumped. I could feel more. I could feel like more contraction and like blood flow, as crazy as that sounds, in my upper pecs when I was working out. Because then I went back to hitting chest because that's what
Mhm.
yesterday was. But I did just a little bit of arms and a little bit of shoulders, and I was just like, damn it. I was like, I got to go home, take a shower, and go get my hair cut. But like, I was pumped.
It does say skin splitting pumps. So I
Yeah, no,
guess it,
literally.
it wasn't lying.
And like the thing though too is like I wasn't even going that heavy. Like I when I was doing easy bar curls, I was just curling 50 pounds, just slow and contract, slow and contract, slow and
Oh, it's already a
contraction.
liquid?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so it's not a powder. Okay. That's
No, no, you just take
interesting.
yeah, you just take two
Hmm.
shots. So, but I was just like, oh my goodness.
I'm gonna try that.
Man, I saw this dope Darth Vader chair and I was like, ooh, that'd be perfect for the podcast. And then I lost the sight for it.
Oh, that's the worst.
My eyes are so red and like puffy.
I can't tell.
I'm like over here looking like Gollum.
Oh my gosh.
Um, but I've had a really good couple of weeks. And I'm just like I even went to the gym Monday morning, like before work, because I've been telling myself, because I scheduled myself a little bit later on Mondays. But I told myself, like, you're going to go in earlier. Just get it over with. And I woke up Monday morning, I was like, yep, today's the day. Drink my pre workout, brush my teeth, put my clothes on, and went to the gym at like 8 o'clock, 8:30.
Mhm.
Yeah, I was done by like 10:05.
It is
It's
nice
like,
getting out of
yeah,
the way in the morning.
yeah. I wanted, it was just like, it was so funny too, because it was like you said the other day in one of your videos, you were like, oh, I'm not a nighttime workout person. And it's so funny how like we flip flop back and forth. And like, because when you were out here, we always worked out at night.
Yeah.
We always trained at what, like
But
5,
it worked with our
5:30?
schedules too. Because it's like
Yeah,
we were both
yeah,
off at the same time, but I think we
yeah,
started at different times in the
yeah.
morning, so it just definitely worked for us.
And then I was like, before that, I always worked out in the morning and I worked out fasted and like got it done. Went to work for swing shift, but then it was like as my life transitioned, I'm like, man, because right now I'm finding that like going to work is great, and then getting meals in and then going to the gym is fine. But sometimes I just don't have the motivation after work.
Or like you don't know like how the day is gonna be, especially in your field or even in my field. It's like you have no idea. Like it could be crazy and you're just exhausted afterwards, and so it's like cool. And then I have
Yes,
to go to the gym and you don't give it 100%, and then you feel like, why am I even here? And then you half-ass it all. And
yes,
so it's like if you just get
yes,
done in the morning, you know you're gonna have a good workout, even if you're not motivated. Once you start working out, usually you're like, yeah, I got this, and you start getting
yeah,
motivated and you work out. But
yeah,
yeah, after work, it's like hit and miss.
yeah. Well, and that's why I was sitting there and on Tuesday I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go to work after I'm gonna go work out after work. And I didn't leave work until 8:35.
See, but see, I feel like it was different too. Well, like I said, our schedules were different when I lived there, but it is easier to stay motivated even after work when you have somebody else. Like you and I just did well together like that, anyway.
Yeah,
So that's a
yeah.
little different when you have a partner that works out with you well.
But even though it was late, I still got some cardio in.
I did cardio
So
today. Whoop whoop.
I'm gonna hit some back here after we get off.
I'll do that tomorrow.
And I noticed too, like I've become like on like a structured like routine. Like I haven't even gotten like any like I don't eat fast food, but like Chipotle, which is fast food realistically. I mean,
Hmm.
like let's face it. But like I haven't ate out at all. Like we've been making dinner every night. Did you see the hula style food that I made a couple of weeks ago
Yeah,
with
it looked
all the
good.
noodles? So I've been just cooking like that, just making like these giant pots of food and then eating it for like 3 days. Because I mean, let's face it, like I really don't care what I eat. I ate rice, beans, and tri-tip for dinner after work 3 nights in a row because I made sure to prep so much up so that I could, one, save money, but also two, eat at home, know what the ingredients are that are
Hmm.
that are going into your body, you
So
know.
you do feel better, like when you're making stuff at home and you like know exactly what it is.
I feel better, my bloat is less, my digestive system is happy, uh, and save money.
Yeah.
So, what have you been prepping lately?
We were since I was sick this last week. Literally did chicken thighs and rice because like
Yeah,
we bought a whole cow last year, and so we've been using a lot of like beef and stuff, which is fine. I've been trying to
yeah,
get creative with it, but we decided like once a month to do chicken, just because it's like you can only think of so much stuff to do with ground beef, and like we do have steaks and different. We've been doing crock pot stuff with the different like cuts and stuff, and we had steak the other night. But yeah, so we just did chicken thighs and rice. Cause I'm like, it's gonna be basic this week because I don't feel good.
yeah. Now
But
on
I
your
love chicken thighs.
now when you're eating your chicken, are they the chickens that you're raising or are you buying the chicken?
We're buying them, so we haven't done meat chickens yet this
Okay.
year because we don't have anything flat on our property. Like, yes, we have 20 acres, but it's covered in trees, or it's just like not flat. So Randall needs to like he wants to have a whole area where he just takes the trees down, flattens it out, because we just don't have anything to like put the chickens in.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
eventually.
Well, that's good. Yeah, it's so funny too because it's like it reminded me Zoe was saying something about your rabbits and I was like, "Yeah, I'm like those are feeders." And she was like, "What?" And I was like, "That's dog food." And she was like, "What?" She was like, "She's raising rabbits to feed the dogs?" I said, "Yeah, you know how expensive dog food is for 6 dogs?" And she was like, "They're so fluffy." I was like, "Yeah, but they're delicious."
They're cute. So we had our first thing of rabbits, I don't know, a couple weeks ago. And I don't know how to really cook rabbit, so I just tried one recipe where you baked them, and
Hmm.
wasn't a huge fan of it because like how rabbit, it's got no fat on it, so you had to put a lot of butter
Yeah.
on it, which is
Yeah.
good, but it's got kind of like a stiffer texture, like it's kind of like chicken but
Yeah.
stiffer. But I
Yeah.
think I'm gonna try next with like oh my god,
Stew.
like a stew, or somebody was saying what are those?
Crock pot style.
What are those black? Why am I blanking on this?
Air fryer?
No, but it's like a pan, but it's black, and you like season
Uh,
it.
oh, cast iron.
Cast iron, yeah. Somebody told me to do it that way, and they said like basically fry it, So I'm gonna be able
Hmm.
to try it that way. But
Yeah.
baking, I wasn't a fan of. It just, I don't know,
Yeah,
wasn't
no.
that great.
Well, bacon's gonna dry it out even more.
Yeah, I
So
think
it's
that's what
like,
it did.
yeah, you know what I mean? Stew, rabbit stew. You
I
just got to
have
be
heard good
careful
things
too,
about
because
stew.
there's. I don't remember the time of the year, but it's like turkeys where they have worms, so you can't eat them during a certain time of the year.
Well, ours aren't out in the wild, so they should be fine.
Wow.
They're in
Okay.
cages.
So I used to have to feed 1,000 to 2,000 rabbits in the morning back when I lived on this hog ranch when I was a little kid.
Oh my gosh. Like if ours
Yeah,
were, because some people let them like free range the rabbits, and they have like things. So I think they can catch it because they're on the ground more. But
yeah,
ours
yeah,
don't ever touch the ground anymore. We tried that
yeah,
free ranging thing, and they get in fights, and then you don't know who's pregnant. And it was just a hassle. So.
yeah. And the next thing you know, you got a bunch of babies, and then the babies are getting
Mm-hmm.
stolen, and
Yeah.
yeah. The worst thing was the meat bees. We used to have meat bees, and they would like eat
They're
them.
so
Oh,
bad
dude, I
out
was
there,
like,
at
what
least.
the? Yeah, I was like, my goodness, you'd have them, and they'd just be all carnivorous.
Ugh,
Mhm.
I don't
Yeah,
miss those.
yeah. So I've been thinking a lot about Skeleton Crew. And I think I'm gonna rewatch it. Like I really did enjoy it. I really did enjoy it. I think There was like a recent study that came out, like of how many minutes everything was watched, and they were talking about like Acolyte had like 2 billion minutes streamed, and I was like, hmm. So they were like, it was more successful than what people are leading on to. But then I was also thinking about with how bad the show was dogged on, did it increase the viewership by people wanting to see how bad it was? And then another thing was, did the viewership increase by people rewatching it to take notes on it, to talk about it on a podcast like we're doing
Hmm.
right now?
Or
So
like we
what are the
talked too, the
actual
time of the
numbers?
year. Like they
Yeah,
released Skeleton Crew at the worst time on Tuesday. When it's like if you would have
yeah,
done the math and looked and thought that Christmas was on a Tuesday, New Year's was on a Tuesday. You guys couldn't push it to like a Wednesday or Thursday or something at least, but it's like they cut to
yeah,
Tuesday. I
yeah,
think it was Tuesdays. But whatever. It landed on Christmas and New Year's, which were huge holidays. So then people, Christmas Eve, Christmas, probably the day after, they're not really watching. Same with New Year's Eve, the New Year's day after, they're recovering. So it's like, you guys picked the worst time. Because honestly,
yeah,
Skeleton Crew was better than The Acolyte. And I think everybody agrees with that. But it's just like they're just going off of streaming minutes or whatever.
yeah,
And like, I think that's a horrible way to, I don't know, look at it.
yeah. And that's why I was like, I'm like, that's really interesting. Like it made me think about stuff. So I was like, I'm gonna rewatch it again because
You know, I'm
I
going to
know
bump
I've
those
probably,
numbers up.
yeah. Well, I know I've said it on here probably once or twice, and I know I've said it in real life of like, I think the water cooler talk the day after a show is kind of dead in a sense. Because everybody's so used to everything just coming out on Netflix all at once, binge
Yeah.
watching it, and then talking about it, and moving on to the next, and moving on to the next. It was like, I mean, Squid Games came out, what, 2 months ago, 2.5 months ago? And is anybody talking about it now? No, they're not.
Hmm.
But they were talking about it for, solid 2 weeks. Television and like the platforms of Netflix and that are when streaming comes out, it's like ADD
Because it's only
or
Disney that does that,
ADHD.
really, right? Where it's like
Pretty
one episode
much.
at a time that I've noticed.
No, Hulu did it with Res Dogs and that, but
Oh,
it's
they did it
just,
with the bear too. So yeah,
yeah. And it's just one of those
but
things where
Hulu
it's
and
like,
Disney are a thing together.
yeah,
So
there's so much information and so much stuff available now to us that you lose interest extremely fast.
mm-hmm,
I mean, it's even the same thing with like relationships. Looking back in the day, like you got with somebody and you stayed together. Now you have
mm-hmm,
social media and everybody thinks that there's a better option out there and that you can get something better than what you have right now. So
mm-hmm.
it's the gluttonous.
That's true. But somebody made a
So
point. I was listening to the Think the Maker podcast on their like Skeleton Crew review, but they mentioned too, if you notice, like I don't know, it's just because they're like you said, Star Wars and so saturated, but they're not doing like a behind the scenes with Skeleton Crew. They're not doing any of that. They're just doing like the little nuggets here on TikTok and Instagram
yeah,
and little reels with the interviews with the kids and stuff like that. But they're
yeah,
not like there's no actual show. And every like I think the Acolyte even had one a behind the scenes, and so did
yeah.
so all that. So it's like they're just not even doing that right now. So I'm like, I don't know.
So I'm so glad that you mentioned that because then it made me remember something that I sent to you at like 3 o'clock in the morning, and I was like, "Don't forget this. We're gonna talk about this." Um, the actress who played
Oh yeah,
Jod's, the actress who played Jod's master,
yeah,
who
something
did
something
those
knowledge.
scenes. Okay, so her behind the scenes training was lightsaber combat. Who do you think she was fighting with a lightsaber that slaughtered her? Because when you first watch it and you don't have that behind the scene footage, you say that he says that they hunted her down and slaughtered her. So in my mind, I was like, oh, the clones after Order 66. The Empire
But it
killed
would
her, and
depend when the flashback was, though.
yes. So, but in her training, she's wielding her lightsaber,
Hmm.
and she's fighting somebody else with a lightsaber. And then I was like, holy shit. I wonder if they deleted it because she was fighting an Inquisitor that they're not ready to reveal yet.
Well, so I guess the podcast I listened to, they were saying how somebody did talk. Well, she kind of talked about it, but they were trying to keep, maybe, I mean, maybe that's true too, but like, but they're trying to keep the focus on the kids, and they thought that when they had it in there, they're like, it just doesn't make sense to talk more about that when this season's more about the kids. So she's thinking maybe if there's a season two, they'll dive more into her and like Jod.
Yeah,
But they're like, let's just keep it focused on the kids this season. But I still wish we got the flash. It's a flashback, like,
yeah,
it still would have been cool because then
yeah,
it makes sense. You get more of his backstory because okay, he took her name, so that's not even his name. So like, who
yeah,
really is he? Because like I said, when on Google characters, I wonder if they took it out like right before because when Skeleton Crew first came out, she was on the character list saying
yeah,
Jedi something Na Na would.
yeah,
And so I thought maybe it was like they were together, but
yeah. Yeah, I don't know. But I was just like, okay, she was fighting somebody that's a force wielder. Because then
yeah,
I was like, I'm like, okay, who was because there's still a couple of Inquisitors that you don't know who they are,
yeah.
that haven't been revealed within the comic books, the TV movies, and everything. So I'm like, man. And then I also was just like, what if, what if they knew Balin Skull,
And
or
they
what if
tie into
Balin was?
Ahsoka.
Yeah, I was like, man. I was like, man, I was trying to explain to somebody at work the other day. They're like, so when is Skeleton Crew? What is it? And I was like, all right, picture the United States. I was like, everything going on in the Skywalker sagas in LA, and you're getting to see something that's in New York. It's on the other
Yeah,
side of the. And they were like, "Oh, that makes sense." I was like, "Yeah, you have to think about the galaxy, the way that
it's
it's
so big.
portrayed. It's so big. I mean, that's why so many that's why the Jedi were such a myth when we get to A New Hope, because realistically there was what, 1,000 Jedi, I think is what it was when
Hmm.
Revenge of the Sith and Order 66 happened. So if there's thousands of planets and there's only 1,000 Jedi at that time, the chances of people seeing a Jedi are very slim, especially when you fast forward 19 years, 25 years. It's something of myth and legend. I mean, I think about it. Star Wars is going to be 50 years old in 70, and because it came out in 77. So it's
I
going to be 50 years old in 2 years. They're going to celebrate a 50th anniversary.
That's so crazy.
Revenge of
And
the
just
Sith
look
is
at it
so
now.
I know. Revenge of the Sith is celebrating a 20-year
That makes me feel old.
anniversary.
I'm like, no. I just graduated high school. What are you talking about?
So, which leads me into our next subject. Since you feel old and how age gapped everything is, we're going to play a game of actors and actresses and the first movie that comes to mind that we saw them in, to show the difference in age. Because most people don't know that you and I are almost 10
Almost
years apart.
exactly.
Yeah.
By
So
like what, two
we're
weeks,
like,
I think?
yeah, like 13 days.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, our birthdays are 10 years and 13 days apart.
Yeah, you're on that. I'll have to count my fingers. I did make a list, but they're all actors. I couldn't think of a lot of female actresses.
It's all right.
I think I
It's
got
all
like
right.
13 on here, 14 on here. I
All
figured
right.
we'd start with, even though we said it last podcast, but Johnny Depp. What was the first movie or TV show you saw him in?
So my first memory of
Or
him was
memory?
Benny and June.
And
think
that
we
what
talked
came
about
out
it.
in the 80s?
I don't even remember when it
I think
came
it
out,
did. Or
but
early 90s.
yes, and the reason why it stuck out to me too was the little dance scene with the forks and what was it,
Right.
breadsticks or
And the
something.
breadsticks,
You know what
yeah.
I mean?
As
Yeah,
little paper.
and then the next movie was Edward Scissorhands naturally. So
Such a classic. And then
yeah,
my first movie I ever seen him in for the first time was Pirates of the Caribbean. And then I backtracked and watched all the movies with him in it. But that was my first encounter with him was as Jack Sparrow.
didn't you have like a obsession with Pirates of the Caribbean when you were younger?
Yeah, that was I think that was the peak of when I realized I like boys, and it was Jack Sparrow that made me realize I like. So I don't know. That's something about me. I'm like, other girls love Orlando Bloom. I'm like, no, it's Jack Sparrow. It's the dirty
That's
guy,
so funny.
the
That's
drunk
so
dirty
funny.
guy. Yeah.
That's hilarious. Man,
Okay.
I was so mad.
Oh,
I was so upset. I'm trying to win this Lego blacksmith set. This is off topic. I know we just started a new segment, but because I remember you saying that you wanted to start collecting Lego, so there's a couple of sets that I want to send to you that I think would be like good. Um, but I didn't. I missed this one, so I bid on it, and I was like, all right. $160, and then somebody outbid me, and it was like down to the wire. I'm literally at work watching the seconds, and then it's like you're outbid. So I increased my bid to 165. For some reason, it glitched, so it didn't go in, and then I
so they didn't
lost the
count it.
bid. Yes, and it was like 30 seconds down. And I'm like, all right, cool, I'm winning. And I thought I was, but I didn't pay attention. I lost the eBay listing off of a 50-cent bid. They bid
Oh my
50 cents
gosh.
more than me.
I feel like that's how it goes though. It's like a penny or like a couple cents. Freaking
I was
eBay.
so mad. I was so mad. I was like, but anyways, next character.
I put Brad Pitt.
Brad Pitt.
Actually, I don't even know if I remember what I first seen him in.
My earliest memory of Brad Pitt is seeing him in an episode of, I think it was Tales of the Crypt. And it was like,
You know what that is?
you don't know what Tales of the Crypt is?
I don't think
So
so.
it used to come on, I forget what channel it came on, but it was like scary stories, like Goosebumps, but adult. And like it was,
Uh,
yeah. And that's the first time I remember seeing him. And then like, Interview with the Vampire, Legends of the Fall. Like my mom loved Brad Pitt. So like I watched Interview with the Vampire and Legends of the Fall.
See, the only thing that's popping in my head is Sinbad, but he was the voice for that. What have I seen
Sinbad.
him? Yeah, do you remember that movie? Did you ever see it?
Yeah, I've
The
seen it.
cartoon?
I'm a Dude, I'm a cinematic fan. I
I
love everything. It's so funny too, is like you say that, I'm like, the kids always like reference different movies, and my oldest's boyfriend, he doesn't watch, he didn't watch very many things. So like they're always like, you uncultured swine. You don't know what movie we're talking about. And then I'm just like,
like get out of here.
but like when we went to the movies and everything, it was more um it wasn't just going to a popcorn flick for us. Like when we got out of the movies, like we talked about the score, the lighting, the director's
Like you
vision, you know
break
what I
it
mean?
down.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So it was like I wasn't just taking the kids just to like buy time. I was taking them to create memories. And I think that's why we have
Because
so much fun right now.
you were a nerd.
But
I'm trying to remember. Hold on, I think I pulled up his IMDb because I'm like, there's got to be something I remember him in before I.
have, did you ever watch Seven with
No, I
him
know
and
exactly what I'm thinking of that I remember him in. The first movie I remember ever seeing him in. Did you ever
what?
see Cool World? I
Cool
shouldn't have
World?
watched that. Yeah, I should have watched that movie. My mom thought it's kind of like Roger Rabbit. So it came out around that time. So Roger Rabbit came out, and so they made a Cool's World, and it's the same thing. Brad Pitt's in it, and he's like a real person, and it's cartoon. But the girl's very like she's out there, but it's not kid friendly. Like it's a little bit
Oh,
more inappropriate. But my mom was
I
just like,
no.
"Oh, Roger Rabbit, like you guys can watch this." And
For Roger Rabbit being a kids movie, it was very dark
so
and
that one
very
was darker.
adultish.
Yes, it was, but Cool World was a lot more like the things that the main character like said she was kind of like a a sexy girl. The main character was like
Mm,
saying and doing was very inappropriate. Like she was very sexual, and she was trying to come to the real world and like be with a man. But my mom's like, I didn't know. It looked like Roger Rabbit, and I was okay with you guys watching that. So that's the first movie I
no,
remember
no,
seeing Brad Pitt in.
that's so funny.
Yeah,
Who else do you have?
I have John Travolta.
Oh, John Travolta.
Right.
I would say Grease,
Me too. Grace, yeah.
and it's and just and I don't know, like because I just remember it being a musical on TV and it being annoying and me changing the channel, but we didn't have enough channels, so it would be on.
Yeah.
Um, Now that I'm older, I understand it. What's the girl with the lipstick that was the pink? Was one of the pink girls, and she had the blonde hair. She looked like a crackhead.
Frenchie?
Was that her name? She
I think
looked
so.
horrible.
She kind of had that like high pitch voice.
Think
No,
so.
you're thinking of I think Crybaby, Hatchet
Is
Face,
that what?
and
That
she's
what
got
it
the
was?
crazy lips and the big like yeah.
Yeah.
You're thinking of
Yeah.
Crybaby with
Okay.
Johnny Depp in it.
Okay.
Yeah, the
My
Hatchet
bad.
Face
My
has got
bad.
like her lip is like up here and down here, and she's got the crazy
Yeah.
eyebrows and she's blonde. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the first. That's like the first scene I remember seeing him in. And then the next thing
Mm.
was this movie. I think it was called Phenomenon. I think that's what it was called. And like he comes to Earth and he they think he's an angel or an alien or something. And then that's the next movie I remember seeing him in.
Yeah, I can tell you the next one I remember seeing him in.
I think it was called Phenomenon. It's a good movie. And then the classic Face Off. Did you ever watch Face Off with Nicolas
Mm-mm.
Cage and him? What? You and
I
Randall
know.
got to watch it. I'm sure
Uncultured.
Randall's watched,
I'm
literally.
sure.
I'm sure Randall's watched it. It's so good. I'm gonna watch it when we get off of here before I go to the. No,
Oh
I'm
my
not gonna
god.
watch it because I won't go to the gym. I'll end up
Say
beyond
go to the gym
pre-workout
first, then
watching the
watch
movie.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Who else you got?
Hugh Jackman.
Hugh Jackman.
Yeah.
I didn't know who Hugh Jackman was until he played Wolverine.
Yeah, me either. So that's why I was wondering. That's why I put his name there. So I was just curious because I didn't look at his IMDb. I was like, I'm just gonna go in this. I was like, I don't know if he's
Yeah,
really been in anything bigger, and I don't think.
yeah.
I think Wolverine made him, huh? Because I
Oh,
know he did Broadway.
Swordfish.
Never seen him.
Swordfish. You've never another with John Travolta. You've never seen Swordfish? It's the first time Holly Berry shows
Holly,
her breast. I'm
Allie.
pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the first time she showed her breast on TV. You've
So
never
there's
seen
that.
Swordfish?
No, there's that age
That's
difference.
another. That's another good movie. I'm sure Randall's seen it.
Maybe.
But yeah, Wolverine. Yeah, man, that's
Same.
a good movie too.
Okay. Tom Hanks.
Forrest Gump.
Forrest Gump. I would say Forrest Gump or Big. And then, well, Toy Story. Toy Story's
Oh,
probably the first thing
Pig.
I've ever like heard him in because I was young enough. But Big, I think, would probably be the first movie I remember him in.
I liked Big. I watched Big quite a few times when I was younger.
I know people though
Um,
they're coming out about it and they're like it's kind of inappropriate. Like he slept with an older woman as a child.
do
I
you
was like,
know?
I don't remember that part as a child. I don't know.
Listen, as a product of the 80s and 90s, and as a male, there is a lot of males that have slept with older women.
Yeah, but I mean, like as a kid, I
It
was
does,
watching it. You don't think like
and
that.
yes. And let me put the disclaimer out. It's not right by any means necessary. I'm not condoning it. I'm just saying, like, it's it's more common than people realize.
Yeah.
Um, and it doesn't make it right, but it's just it does, yeah, yeah, definitely. And then when he changes and she looks back and he looks up, She's like,
Yeah. So, but I'm like, I don't remember that 'cause I haven't seen it since I was a kid. I was like, I don't remember that part. I just remember like the fun kid part. So, whatever.
yeah. I think they even make fun of it in like one of like the Menace to Society knockoffs where the dude's like dad's like around the same age as him.
Oh God,
Yeah. What about Gary Oldman?
that's so funny. I was gonna put him on the list, and I
Were you
didn't. But
really?
yeah, but for me, Gary Oldman would be Harry Potter.
Bram Stoker's Dracula.
I
And
mean, I
then
know
have
he's
you
in a
ever,
lot of things, but
yeah. Have you that? And then have you ever seen the movie called The Specialist? Wait, is it The Specialist? No, The Professional.
nope.
There's a movie called The Professional, or it's got another title called like Leon or something like that. But it's okay, it'll lead me into the next theme. What's the very first movie that you remember for Natalie Portman?
Star Wars. I
The
literally don't know.
Professional.
Huh? The perfect. Yeah, see it.
The,
I don't, because she
yeah,
was young when she did Star Wars, anyways. The first one,
she
so
was
it's
even
like that's.
yeah,
I was 7, so yeah, that would be the first movie that I
yes.
remember in.
You should watch The Professional. It's really,
Okay.
really good.
Yes, sir.
Um, or Leon is what else it's called. But that's the first movie I've ever seen her in. But Gary Oldman's in that as well. Oh, hella good. Hella good. What about Will
Oh, that's a good one. What was the first thing I seen him in? What's the first movie you seen him in?
Ferrell? Will Ferrell? I think the
Yeah.
first movie that like I remember seeing him in. Um, it's hard to say because he had so many like small little cameos in movies like
Mm-hmm.
Old School.
I have to
Well,
look it up.
Old School. He's one of the main characters, but like Wedding Crashers, all these little things. He's he's had parts in. So for me, it was hard to narrow down like one specific movie. But I would probably say Night at the Roxbury's.
He was in Austin Powers.
Yeah,
I mean, so I guess technically that'd been the first movie, but I didn't realize it's him.
yeah.
I had no idea he's in Austin Powers, so I guess yeah, that'd be the first movie. Superstar. Okay, the first movie that I would actually remember seeing him in would be Superstar.
Dude, Superstar is
I forgot
so
about that
funny.
movie. It's
Dude,
so funny.
so cringe when she was making out with the tree. Oh God, Superstar. Didn't I have you do that? I have a
I
video
always
of you somewhere, dude.
yes, my
Oh my
first
God.
show because I kept saying that I was
Yes.
a superstar, and so then you have me doing the armpit thing where I go,
God.
oh
You know,
Lord,
that's so funny too, because it makes me think like when we were working out together, we were in our own little bubble talking
we
about
really
our own
were.
stuff. So I'm like, I wonder what people think of us.
Because it's like, where did we even get the superstar thing? Like, what were we talking about for that to be like an ongoing joke?
I don't remember. I don't remember, but
Me
I
either.
just remember we were backstage or when we were like getting ready to go on stage or something. I was like, or afterwards, I was like,
Well,
superstar,
even
who's
because I
superstar?
remember working out, it was like a thing for a little bit. So I don't know where it
Yeah,
started because
right.
I just started doing the superstar thing. I don't know.
Yeah. It's so funny too, because like, so we're in our own little bubble, so I don't pay attention to nobody really. Like, if I'm looking at you in the gym, it's probably because I'm criticizing or critiquing your form.
Probably
As and I don't mean that in a rude way. It's just that's
how
where
your
my
brain
brain
works.
goes. But it's so funny too, because it's like when people talk about me, um, like especially since like Angelina's at the age now where she's going to the bar and she's like seeing people, and
Yeah.
then like and they're just like, "Oh, that's your dad," and they're like, "Yeah," and then like they're like, "Yeah, we didn't know who he is. Like, we didn't know his name. He's always just the dude that always has hot girls with him."
Oh, yep, that's me.
Yeah, she went to like this like bonfire scene the other day too, just recently, and the guy was like, "Yeah, he had this like really hot redhead that was always with him. And then before that, like he was naming off descriptions of
Like
females
every
that,
girl that you worked out with, or
yeah,
like
he's
that
like,
you've trained.
what happened to the brunette that was Romanian? And it was just like, it made me think of like how oblivious I am at the gym that this guy has been seeing me go in there for
All these
literally
years, obviously.
years, never had any interaction with him, but yet he couldn't name, like, in chronological order, every person that I've worked out with or that I've trained or trained with. And I'm just like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh. I'm like, I need to be more self aware. I'm like, man. So, but it was just hilarious. I was laughing so hard. Who else you got?
Will Smith.
Ooh, Will Smith. Well, Fresh Prince of Bel Air, naturally. But movie wise, it's a toss up between this. I felt like there was like a reign in movies. So I want to say like Men in Black, Wild Wild West, and Bad Boys.
That same. Probably
But I
Men in
can't
Black
rem.
and Wild Wild West for sure.
Yeah, I can't remember which one I remember seeing him in first. I remember watching Independence Day in the movie theaters.
I remember that movie, but it
Yeah,
also I was so young when it came out that I just didn't really care about that. Like
yeah,
that's not gonna
yeah.
entertain me as a child.
The action figures for that movie go for a pretty penny nowadays. If you can have it like mint on card, even the loose ones do, because
Yeah.
it was just something that like people really didn't collect, and now people are like trying to fill that nostalgic uh, itch, and they're looking for them. So I was like, hmm. So who else you got?
Antonio Banderas.
Ooh, Antonio Banderas. I would say Desperado is the first thing that I remember seeing him in.
Mine would be Spy Kids.
I was gonna say Puss in Boots.
Not Puss in Boots. Say Spy Kids.
Um,
Early 2000s.
ha-
Or I think it was like
have
2000.
have you never watched Desperado?
I don't think so. I've heard of it, but I don't know if I've actually sat down and watched it.
Pretty good. What do you have another one?
Samuel L. Jackson. I have a
These
couple more.
snakes on this plane. Um, Samuel L. Jackson. I would probably say Pulp Fiction.
I figured you were going to say that. I've actually never seen that movie, so mine would be
You've
Star Wars.
never seen?
I've never seen Pulp Fiction. I don't know why. I sat down one time to watch it and I started it and I was just like, meh, I'm not in the mood. I just
I
didn't finish
smell
it.
tucks. My arms going down. I think
Yeah,
I'm having a
never.
heart attack. It's a really good movie.
That's what
Really
I've
good
heard. That's
movie.
why I want to watch it. I'll watch it one
Yeah.
day. Maybe on my deathbed.
Shit, another movie John Travolta was in.
But yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
That was that era though.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say that. Um, One movie that I like that, again, another a lot of people are kind of like controversial was Black Snake Moan that he's in.
Never.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. I've watched it like probably like six times. What other one do you have?
Ryan Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds.
hmm
What's the first movie you remember watching him in?
Um, Probably Just Friends.
Just Friends is a hilarious movie.
It's so funny. I do watch that every couple years. I'll rewatch that.
Yeah, it's a
I
good
do love
Christmas
that.
movie.
hmm But I think
Yeah.
that's the first thing that popped in my head is Just Friends. He wasn't really.
See, it's hard to remember which one you've seen him because, like, again, kind of like how I was saying, like with Will Smith, there were so many movies like back in the day.
So many,
What was
all at
what
once.
was
Like,
what was the one with Sandra Bullock? The
oh,
Proposal?
the proposal.
No, was it the
Yeah,
Proposal
no, yeah,
where he's her secretary
I think so.
and it's got Betty White in it?
I think so.
And Van Wilder.
Yeah, the proposal. Ooh,
Yeah,
I do remember Van Wilder.
Van Wilder's like one of the very first movies. You know, that's an adaptation of Bert Kreischer's life. Uh,
Really?
yeah, the comedian that I like when Rolling Stones did an article on him, whoever the company was that produced the movie, they bought the rights to it.
Hmm.
So
Okay, I got three
so
more.
it's loosely based on him. Boom. What's up? What's the next one?
Robin Williams.
Ooh, Robin Williams. Aladdin.
You think that's the first thing that you've seen
Not
him in? Or heard him in?
no. Popeye?
Oh my
Popeye?
god, I forgot he was Popeye. Yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah.
I think mine, it could have been Popeye, or it's Flubber.
I never watched Flubber.
Oh, I love Flubber. It's the
Yeah.
little, it's funny too, because when Kenobi came out, Leia's little droid that was with her, it looks
Yeah.
like the little droid that's on Flubber that she
Oh,
flies
really?
around. And she like
Huh.
opens up her little thingies. It's pretty good. It's a good movie. It's so cute.
I wonder if it's there's a connection to it.
That's what I was
Yeah,
wondering.
yeah, I would say Popeye, and then probably Aladdin because my cousin, she loved Aladdin, and she literally played Aladdin, 101 Dalmatians, and some other movie literally back to back. I think there was one day that 101 Dalmatians was played over and over again like
Just
seven
on a loop.
times.
I feel when I was
Yes,
a
and
child.
I was like, I'm going outside and digging a foxhole.
All right, Brendan Fraser.
Brendan Fraser,
Mm-hmm.
the movie where he played Tarzan,
I'd say George of the Jungle. That's what I
George
remember
of the
him too. Yeah,
Jungle. That
George,
movie
George,
was
George of the Jungle.
such a good comedy.
Mm-hmm.
Ah,
So good.
and then the Mummy.
Yeah, for sure.
I
My
would
last
love,
one. Oh, carry
I
on.
would love to see him as like an older version from the Mummy, especially with how well our graphics and CGI has been updated.
Yeah, things are different.
You know, yeah. Who's the last one?
Danny DeVito.
Twins.
Forgot about that movie.
He's like, I'm your brother, we twins. When they're in the jail.
I totally forgot about that movie.
Oh,
Mine would
that
probably
movie
have to
is,
be Matilda.
yeah, it would be that, and then it would either be Matilda or him as
Penguin.
Penguin
Yeah,
in
that would
that.
probably be my second one. Is he scared the crap
Yeah,
out of me in Batman? I hated his character.
yeah. There was a behind the
So
scenes where
gross.
he was talking about one of the penguins latching onto his crotch of his suit and attacking him.
Oh my gosh. They're like, you're not one of us. Well, it's like he had
So
the goo and he had the fingers, and they just made him
yeah,
icky.
yeah.
I didn't like him.
Somebody said that they were gonna remake Matilda, and I was like, some classics shouldn't be
Don't need to be
redone.
remade. Like, don't remake
Yeah,
Matilda. It's so good.
yeah. I got in. It's so funny too that we were talking about Matilda because I got in this cake for my ice cream parlor, and it was like this big, delicious, like chocolate piece of cake, and like the most random employee that I wouldn't think that would have known the movie was like, "This is the kind of cake that he got put in the chokey for in Matilda."
Oh my god.
And I was like, "Oh man," I was like, "I should name it, find out what that name of that cake was on there, and name it
For
that."
real, name it that. So some people
Yeah,
would get it. Wow.
literally. Yeah. So, what about Keanu Reeves? What's the first movie you remember seeing Keanu Reeves in?
Probably The Matrix. I
Yeah.
don't remember anything else that he had been in except for Matrix and then John Wick
Mine
that I
would be
was seeing.
Point Break. Mine
Okay,
would
I've
be
seen
Point
that.
Break. You've never seen Point
I've
Break?
never seen Point Break.
Oh, Johnny Utah. What? What about Patrick Swayze? What's the first movie you saw Patrick Swayze in?
Hmm. Probably Ghost.
That's what I would think too. And then I
Yeah.
remember
My
him
mom
playing.
loved Patrick Swayze. She absolutely
Yeah.
loved him.
What's the movie with him and Wesley Snipes where they play cross dressers?
Oh, I don't know.
I remember seeing that on TV. That's so funny. Damn.
Just kidding. Wait, was Patrick Swayze's in The Outsiders? Or am I thinking of somebody else?
I don't know. I haven't. I don't remember The Outsiders.
I used to love The Outsiders. Make me cry though. I think
What
he
about
was
Val?
in that. And I think that's what the first thing I actually seen him in. And then I seen
What
Ghost. I
about
was probably too young to watch Ghost.
what about Val Kilmer?
Willow.
Willow. I
That's the
love
first
Willow.
movie. I love Willow.
Yeah. Those action figures too go for a freaking hefty penny, and they're just basic little just statues.
Really?
Even yeah, even loose. They just I forgot who made them, but they didn't make very many of them, and nobody collected them, so they go for a lot. Willow was such a good movie. I'm gonna
It's
watch it.
I rewatched it so much when I was a kid. And then I watched the show that came out and it was good, but it wasn't
Yeah.
I mean, they only did one season. It just I don't know, there wasn't much you can go off of it. I was like,
Yes, yes. And that's a hard thing. It's just like Dexter. Like Angelina was talking about watching Dexter, and I'm just like, it's good. It's a great show, but like after they pulled from the one book that it was made out of, it's just the writers.
mm-hmm.
So it gets a little wonky. Did you know that the guy that plays Dexter and the girl that plays his sister got married in real life
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
and then got divorced and continued to play brother and sister on Dexter? You ready
That
to
had
do
been
some Star
awkward.
Wars? You ready to do some Star Wars conversations?
Star Wars conversations from the deck that I don't know which one's wrong.
They're gonna have to do like a second version of it.
Yeah, because I'm like, we're running out of ID or cards.
Yeah, I know it's so funny. Like with Thread and Instagram, and Facebook, it brings collectors and fans together from all across the world, and you don't realize how privileged we are in the United States being fans and having everything so easily accessible for us where we can just on our phone just get on Amazon and order whatever we want. It's delivered to our house in 2 to 3
I know,
days.
isn't it crazy? That's
There's
what somebody
this,
was telling me too, or maybe I was watching a video, but they're talking about Amazon, and or maybe it was my best friend. I think it was my best friend. We were chatting, and she was like, "It's wild these kids, because like we didn't have access to everything. Where her kids will want something, she's like, oh, I can't get it. They're like, just Amazon it, like just order
yeah,
it. She's like, I'm not just gonna order it, or like TV shows and stuff. They're like, it's right there. Like you don't have to go and get it, or So she's like, it's just wild. These kids know that too.
yeah, yeah, it's crazy. I seen a video where it was like a little like 5-year-old girl and she like comes in her mom's room and she's like, you lied to me. Chuck E. Cheese is open. It says right here. And she's got like a phone or a tablet. And she's like, how do you
Yay!
know? She's like, you lied to me. You said it was open. So I asked Siri. And Siri's like, Chuck E. Cheese is open, blah, 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 blah.
My mom
And I'm
said
just
too,
like,
she's like, I used to lie to you guys all the time that things were closed.
literally.
Can't do that shit anymore. Okay,
Hmm.
I found 3 questions. I did it all by myself. Okay, technology. Would you trust a droid like IG-11 to babysit? Why or why not?
It's what they're designed for.
You would trust it? I wouldn't.
I mean, we put our faith in strangers
I mean, I
who
don't.
have who have impulses that they act on. At
But
least the
droids, they
droid
can
is
be
at,
corrupted,
at, at least the droid is programmed.
maybe for evil.
Well, if the eyes are red, I won't.
So the eyes have to be normal, and you would.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. This is the Galaxy. Dex's Diner is famous for six layer cake. What Star Wars food do you want to try?
Um, a meloman fruit.
Ooh, yes. Fruit. Yeah, yeah. Those always looked very good.
Talk about a tongue twister.
Mailerun, whatever it is. Yeah, I'd say yeah.
Something like that. What's the
They
next
really
one?
show. They show kind of gross food. It's always stuff moving.
Yeah.
No, thank you. Or on Skeleton Crew, how they have just little things that it's a home cooked meal, and it's just like in a bag. It's like boop.
Well, I mean, look at even the stick. Look at the little stick that Leia pulled out in Return of the Jedi to give to Wicket, or Luke's food on Dagobah. It was very just like,
Gross
ew.
looking. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
thank you. Okay, creatures. Would you rather face 10 porg-sized space slugs or one space slug-sized porg? So big porg or 10 little porgs? Or no, 10 smaller slugs or one huge porg? One huge porg.
Yeah, because they would fall over easy.
And I think they're a little bit nicer. I feel like, I
That's
don't know,
so
maybe
funny.
slugs are gross.
It's so funny that you pulled an animal card because as you were getting ready to read it, I was like, what animal would you want in Star Wars? Did we answer that question
I
before?
don't, I don't know. What would you want?
I don't
Oh,
know.
wait, no, let me guess. A raincorn?
It's pretty up there. All right. Well, like, comment, subscribe. You
All
can
that
find
jazz.
us on social media at,
Mariah Love Fit on Instagram.
and I'm the 530 Gorilla. Until next time, may the force be with you.
Always. Peace out, Girl Scout.
Later,
May the force be with you.